Hello everyone and welcome back to SNubs Gaming. This has been Drawkus. Coming again with Game of Thrones. Continuing on with Alester's intro here. A little bit more checking around the town and then go confront his family. Hey, coins. Oh, always a good street fight. Where they not even hitting each other? What is this, guys? Actually hit each other. Ah, this is pathetic. They're really beating up that O2. Up to this keep, so I'm gonna come through town. Loot. More coins. I've gotten anything gear-wise yet, but alright, I made money. Go up into the keep. I believe that's where I need to go, so I'm just on the side of the keep a bit. Find more coins, apparently.
Very nice robe you've got there. That must be worth its weight in copper.
Nah, it's worth its weight in bloodshed. Can't you tell? It used to be white.
Halt, priest. This town is in mourning. Access to the castle is closed during the ceremony.
I'm actually here to attend Lord Sarwick's burial.
I'm afraid that's not possible. I'm under strict orders to only allow entry to close kin. With the villagers' current grumblings, we don't want to risk problems.
Just know who he's speaking to or speak to his superior.
I am Lord Reynald Sarwick's eldest son, and I am here to attend my father's funeral.
His eldest son? Do you take me for a fool? I have been at my post for more than 5 years, and I have never once seen your face.
It has been more than 5 years since I left River Spring. Please call on Mr. Harwin. He knows of my arrival.
Well, we'll see about that, but I doubt he'll come here for you. The ceremony's about to start. John, go find Maester Harwin.
What is going on here? Why has John gone for the Maester?
Ryman, it's me, Alester.
Several hells! Alester? Graydon, I told you only family. That excludes peasants, dogs, and cravens who abandon their families.
You will let me pass. This is my house.
Enough, Ryman. However long I was absent, this house is still mine.
How dare you! You disappeared without so much as a goodbye years ago, and now you return as if nothing happened.
The reasons for my exile are mine alone. I owe you no explanation.
I care about your reasons? It's your fault that Lord Sarwick is dead.
You've lost your head, cousin.
Your departure destroyed him. He was never the same again.
Your judgment is clouded, Ryman. I can smell the ale on your breath from here.
What? Stand back! I'll make you eat your words, priest!
Ah! Combat time! Let's see. One of those on. Retaliation. So a couple of those, see how that works.
Enough. Do you not think we have enough dead here?
Mr. Harwin?
Alester,
I think I was losing that fight.
I prayed for your return.
This traitor no longer has his place here, Maester Harwin. He abandoned his castle and his family.
7 gods. Get a hold of yourself, Ryman. I wrote to him to invite him to Lord Sarwick's funeral.
I prefer to leave than to hear more of this.
Alester, what a relief it is to finally see you. I had help from my contacts in Bravos to inform you of your father's death. The funeral will be in the Godswood. The ceremony has already begun.
Why is it not held at the Sept?
It would be if it were not in ruins. River Spring is suffering on all fronts, I fear. Let us go now. Come with me, Alester. Let us speak as we walk.
What happened here, Maester? How could my father allow things to get to this point?
You know, after you left, Lord Reynold changed. He began to live more and more in the past, and stopped taking care of his duties. Your sister quickly found herself managing more than she should have.
Eliana helped my father govern?
Well, these last few months, she's practically run the house herself. In spite of her efforts, she was unable to slow the inevitable ruin of her lands without a lord. But all is not so dark. Many of your father's vassals remain faithful to their oath. They have all come to the burial in order to honor his memory. We will speak of all this again after the ceremony. Let us make haste, I beg of you.
Basically, his father got old. Got it. Old, senile, missing his eldest son. Supposed to take care of him. Slow walking. Gotta make it dramatic.
Hello, Red Priest. I am Lady Eliana Sarwick, daughter of the late Lord Sarwick. You are just in time for the ceremony. Were you close to my father?
You have changed much in 15 years, little sister.
Alester, why have you returned? We don't need you here.
Harwin told me of father's death. It was my duty to come.
15 years without any news. And he had to die for us to see you again. You would have done better to stay where you were.
I do not doubt that my departure was difficult for you.
Difficult? To say the least. Your disappearance was our father's ruin. Do you know how long I cried after you left? And how long I hoped for news of you?
I am sorry. I left Westeros without once turning back, it's true. I understand your reaction. It must have been unbearable for you, but I had to leave. Know that I never forgot you.
That's easy for you to say. And you should know that we here learn to live very well without you.
I understand your reaction, Eliana.
I doubt it. Go pay your last respects to father. We will speak later.
Oh, he's really liked around here.
The eternal outcast now guide you to the Father, and
You
may
should
he
follow
judge you
his
fairly and deliver you from the torments of the 7 hells.
Who is that man? I believe that is the elder Sarwick, the one who disappeared. He has certainly changed, but I recognize him.
Now, if I remember right from Game of Thrones type lore, even though he disappeared doesn't mean that he's not, you know, the heir to the throne. He could come back at any time as long as he's the heir. And oh, that flaming kiss.
How could you desecrate our father's body that way?
I desecrated nothing. I performed the final kiss, the tribute that priests of R'hllor pay to the dead.
You may be a red priest, but you should respect the beliefs of Riverspring.
I did not intend to be
Good lesson.
disrespectful, little sister.
Do not think that it is easy for me to speak with you after all this time.
I understand her bitterness. You know, you leave without
Please,
speaking.
Eliana, listen. I left Westeros without a goodbye, and you have every reason to be angry with me.
We already know
15
this.
years ago, the war that King Robert Baratheon fought to claim the throne forced me to commit deeds which haunt me still. The very idea of returning to you was too painful. I did the only thing left for me to do. I left and began a new life elsewhere. Not long ago, I received a letter from Maester Harwin telling of Father's death. I could no longer hide myself. It was time to confront my past. What I regret the most, Ilyana, is that by fleeing to the other side of the waters, it is you whom I wounded.
All these years I have thrown a veil over your memory, and you return at the moment when everything is in turmoil. I must be alone for the moment. I will see you later, Alester.
Take your time, little sister. I understand.
Alester, Maester Arwen would like to speak with you. He awaits you in the castle courtyard. And if I may add, you should be ashamed of that kiss during the ceremony.
My thanks, Ravella. I shall go and see him.
Yes, pro tip, don't kiss the dead. I mean, not very kosher. Probably not very clean. And you're probably not a red priest. So don't do it. Got people just standing around. There's the Maester. What's going on around here? Training yard. I can't attack it. There's any loot in the boxes? Oh, we got loot. Antique sword. Alrighty then. Steward. Knowledge, yeah, so seal of knowledge. Any better weapons for me? Dagger. Bolts. All these different weapons, and they all have the same DPS. Funny that. I might as well set up that sword as my secondary weapon. Like settings for light armor. Yeah. That looks like it's out and around here. Off the Maester, I guess. To the Maester.
Ah, Alester. There you are. Please leave us. So, you're not too unsettled by the situation here?
Very unsettled. Everybody hates me. Lyanna is angry with me. Worse yet, the people suffer.
What I saw
people.
of the town upon my arrival was enough. It is a disaster. The people cannot go on like this. I have heard tell that neighboring lords have taken our people's lands.
Indeed. The poverty has worsened over the years. When neighboring lords became aware of your father's situation, they took advantage of the opportunity.
But they have no right to do so. Our lieges, the Lannisters, should have been notified.
Indeed. But our relations with them have suffered since your father held Tywin Lannister responsible for your departure. It was after his death that your sister decided to reopen talks by going to see the most influential member of their family. That is why she requested an audience with Queen Cersei Lannister at the Red Keep. It was made very clear our lieges will act once our land has a new master. So
Wouldn't she
your
be
sister
Queen
worked
Cersei
towards this end.
Baratheon?
River Spring has belonged to House Sarwick for generations. Ilyana has refused to marry a lord from any other house. So, the Queen has chosen a man for your sister.
Who is it?
Valar, your father's bastard son, your half-brother.
Valar. I left Westeros hoping never to hear that name again. It is out of the question for my sister to marry him. He shares our blood. How can the Queen condone a marriage which goes against nature?
You realize that if Ilyana were to wed another lord, she would take her husband's name. Being a bastard, Valar has no family name. It was the only solution to keep River Spring for House Sarwick.
Well, we all know why the Queen allowed this. Because she's into that kind of thing, but...
Why choose Valar for a suitor? What does the Queen want?
From what I heard while accompanying your sister to King's Landing for her audience at court, Valar distinguished himself through his exploits. I know that the Queen enjoys surrounding herself with strong, devoted men. That is the case for Valar. By giving him this gift, she ensures his loyalty and increases her power.
But Valar was just a squire when he went off to war with me. It would take more than that to be a suitor worthy of our name.
Seeing him return alone from the war, your father blamed him for your disappearance. No matter how much Valar claimed to work for the prosperity of House Sarwick, your father wouldn't hear any of it. He cursed him and chased him away from River Spring for good. Your half-brother was mad with rage and left seeking vengeance. Apparently, he spent several years at the Citadel, using education to compensate for his low birth.
A maester cannot become a lord.
He never became maester, but stopped at the rank of acolyte. He learned the art of war, studied the higher mysteries, and forged links. He was then thrown out of the Citadel several years later for studying the forbidden arts. He's been a sellsword ever since. His reputation spread quickly, and royal ears heard of him. In 2 years, he went from simple soldier to the Queen's Guard. He moves in the shadows. The nobles of the court fear him.
Valar. He has taken too much from me already. I cannot just stand by while he marries my sister.
There is something else of which we should speak. I would have liked to spare you this. I do not believe that your father's death was an accident. There are certain indications that lead me to believe that he was poisoned.
Are you sure?
Believe me, Alester, I know this subject. The Strangler is a difficult poison to detect, but it leaves certain traces that cannot be caused by anything else.
So, your father blames the Lannisters, your father blames this guy Valar. Who doesn't your father blame for your leaving? Jesus. Why would someone want my father dead? Well, that's obvious. Valar wants the castle.
Did father have any ongoing conflicts which could have prompted someone to murder him?
I am not certain, but there are rumors of a possible culprit.
Tell me who it is.
Valar.
This may overwhelm you, but the rumors say that it is your younger brother, Garwin.
Garwin? He was but a child when I left.
He and Lord Reynold had some serious quarrels, and he disappeared on the very night of your father's death. We've had no news of him since.
Why? Why would he have done such a thing?
Maester Harwin, the people are rebelling. Rioting has broken out throughout the town.
With all
Not
of
the
this
rioting.
festering discontent, it was only a matter of time before this happened.
Why did they
Why
rebel?
would the people rise up with such violence?
Well, the lords left the castle after the burial with their fine clothes and all, whereas the villagers are starving. All of this flaunted wealth must have pushed them too far. Everything quickly erupted. They attacked the lords, taking them hostage.
How did things get this far out of hand?
One man used this opportunity to unite the mob against us.
I think I know who leads them. I crossed paths with a certain Tyrek when arriving. A rabble-rouser, telling people to take up arms.
Tyrek? I heard some guards say that he was getting people worked up in a marketplace.
Then that is where we must go.
Captain Ryman says that it's impossible. Our men are barely managing to keep them at bay at the castle doors. There are not enough of us to attempt an escape.
Where is Captain Ryman?
He is at the doors. He's the one that ordered the barricades.
7 hells! If Ryman deals with it, the revolt will end in flames and bloodshed.
Riverspring has already suffered too much. I must join Ryman. Riverspring needs me. I will not watch our land fall into ruins without acting.
Very well, but I beg you to be careful. You are a Sarwick. Act as a liege, Lord Alester, and know that your acts will
There's
have
no lord there.
consequences.
I will do what must be done.
I am sure you will.
I will do what must be done. Kill everyone. Call in the dragon, burn the place down. That makes sense. Go this way? Or here? Ah, this one. River Spring. Oh, it's gonna be raining and everything, huh? Mor's dog can detect odors which may lead to hidden objects.
We can't... Well, well, look who's here. Dear Alester. What have you come for, my good cousin?
I hope you're thinking more clearly than you were earlier.
I have no lessons to learn from a coward.
Let's not start that again. Ryman, I did not come here to fight with you. What can you tell me of the situation here?
We've almost regained control of the southern part of town. My soldiers are about to clean it out. But in the marketplace, there are still skirmishes between rioters and people loyal to our cause. Nobles who came for the ceremony are still being held hostage by rebels on the docks in the northern part of town.
Very well. Let's go, Ryman. I want to see this for myself.
Really? His lordship would like to see this for himself? Well then, I'd be happy to accompany you to see this. I cannot wait to see you reason with this gang of peasants. I hope that blade at your belt is not just for decoration. Here, take my flask. You might need it.
Yes, take your highly powerful alcohol. Alright. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Next episode, we'll apparently be dealing with this group of rioters. See how much bloodshed we can stop. Unlike some people in Game of Thrones. Alright then, thank everyone for coming and watching us. Yet again, this is Us Nubs Gaming, and I've been Drockus. Have a great day.